Welcome back to another Tesla YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about my Tesla Model Y and what I think after a year of ownership. I've owned the car for a year now. I purchased it in June of 2023, and I just wanted to talk about kind of my experience over the last year between charging, road trips, service, costs, unexpected costs, and I think this would be a really helpful video for a lot of you out there who might be on the fence if you should buy a Tesla or not. Also, I apologize if you hear the air conditioner running in the background for all of this video. It's 106 degrees outside and I'm parked in the shade, so imagine how hot that would be out in the sun. So currently I have 13,000 miles on the car after a year of owning my Tesla, and the biggest highlight of owning this car has by far been my road trip and camping experiences. Now you might be thinking, well, you can road trip in any vehicle, which is absolutely correct, you can. What makes the Tesla so unique is on my camping trips, I've been able to sleep in the back of the Tesla, which you can also do in several SUVs. What makes the Tesla different is the camp mode. So I can run the climate control all night long and maintain a comfortable climate, whereas you can't get that in any other SUV, especially a gas one. You can't run the car all night long. In this case, I run the climate control all night long and it's very comfortable in here. The Tesla camping portion has been by far the best experience. I've made several YouTube videos on that. You can check them out on my channel. The road trip aspect of this has been amazing. I know that a lot of people were questioning, the use of superchargers and going long distances and having to stop and charge, and there's a lot of misconceptions on how long that charging actually takes. A lot of times that's a big factor in preventing people from getting a Tesla, is because they don't want to have to spend all this time at the supercharger when they do long road trips. So the biggest thing that I've found is if you plan your supercharging stops around when you would have to stop anyways to use the restroom, to get food, any of that type of stuff, then it actually works out just fine. Nearly every one of the supercharging stops we've done also included a bathroom stop or a stop for lunch or something of that nature. The supercharging itself only took about 20 minutes in order to get us enough charge to reach the next supercharger. There were moments where even that wasn't enough time for us to use the bathroom, go order food, stretch our legs. So it really is not that much of a hindrance when you're on a road trip. A lot of people think that the supercharger takes over an hour to charge your car, and that's simply not the case. And a lot of times, depending on where you're going, you don't even have to charge past 80% to reach the next supercharger, because you're just going to charge again anyways. That has been a great experience, very smooth. Also, with the charging, while we're discussing that topic, I can charge my car at work, so I'm very fortunate that I am able to do that. I use the NEMA 1450 adapter and I'm able to charge my car, so basically when I show up in the morning and start my work day, I am at almost an 80% charge by the end of the day, which is fantastic. Also, I have been fortunate enough to have a lot of free credits for supercharging and various other things, so I think I totaled up the math, but I think it was like less than $50 for the whole year. Yours will probably be a little bit more than that, or if you charge at home, then you would probably see that in your electric bill. As far as the charging goes, I've had a really smooth experience with that. I don't miss going to gas stations at all, and every time someone asks me if I like the car, I tell them I'll never go back to a gas car. Everything about this car just feels so much more advanced, so much further into the future. My girlfriend has a Prius. I get into her car and I'm like, man, this stuff is antiquated. It's just, the Tesla makes it so easy. I have my phone as a key. I also have the key card, but I never use the key fob or key card. I always use my phone. So I walk right up, it unlocks automatically, and then I get in the car. I don't have to start the car. I just put it in drive and I drive away. It's that simple. Having an app to control your car is beyond amazing. That's not something you could do previously with a gas vehicle. Not only being able to lock and unlock your car from the app, you can also control the climate. You can pre-cool or preheat the car. You can check the cameras. The app also has things like your charging history and charging stats, and the app also automatically bills your credit card anytime you use a supercharger or anytime you contact Tesla for service. It's so easy. I mean, it's so streamlined. They've figured out how to make it super easy. I mean, I'm sure there's other EVs that also do this, but Tesla was the first to really, be a pioneer in this technology. And so I didn't buy the car for the car. I bought the car for the technology, and that's the difference. I bought the car for the tech. I bought the car for the interface. Having a fancy luxury car is not important to me, although there's some controversy if people consider Tesla to be luxury, but that's a different conversation for another day. I think that Tesla will always be 5 steps ahead of any other auto manufacturer out there. Some of you may disagree with me on that, but just already seeing how Tesla's Supercharger network is the most prominent. Also, let's remember that Tesla is not a car company. They're an energy company. They're a tech company. So they offer solar products, battery backup solutions too. But those are all of the reasons why I have really, really loved my Tesla. So we already expected the insurance, which I pay about $250 a month for in Southern California. My car payment is $671 a month. My total amount of maintenance costs I've spent in the past year has been, I spent $65 for a tire rotation, which they came to my office and did it there, so I didn't have to take the time to go to a Tesla service center. They came to me and did the work, so $65 for that, and I paid $121 to have my tire patched because I got a nail in it, which I know that may sound expensive, but they came to me, they put a loaner wheel and tire on it, and $121 plus $65, and that's all I spent on maintenance. Especially considering all the road trips I've done, that's really good. For some of you that will be different. You may have more or less maintenance on your car, but that was my personal experience. Those were all of the expected costs. Now if we get into the unexpected costs, one of the biggest unexpected costs that I've had for this car is the registration renewal for my license plates here in California. That was $751 for the year, which is absolutely insane. I think it's very silly that, especially a state like California, they incentivize you to purchase electric vehicles, but then they make you pay more for the registration. But anyways, that's an unexpected cost, a huge unexpected cost that I think that people should be aware of before they buy a Tesla, depending on what state you live in. Generally speaking, I think electric vehicles cost a lot more for the registration. I'm pretty sure when I owned my Honda Civic, I maybe paid $300 or $350 for the year for my registration renewal, which it's California, it's already expensive. But just to give you an idea. And when I owned my Civic, I had to do at least 2 maintenance visits a year for oil changes and various other things. And every time I would go there for maintenance, I'd probably end up spending $250 or more, depending on what needed to be done. Now, granted, that was in after 5 years of ownership of the car. So we went over unexpected costs. We went over all the things that I really enjoy about the Tesla. There's actually a lot more things that I enjoy that I could probably talk about, but this video would end up being like an hour long. So I just gave you the highlights of what I enjoy. A lot of people also ask me about the white seats, and they kind of tease me about it too, because they're like, well, those will stain so easily. You'll never be able to clean them, and they look crystal after a year of ownership. Maybe my driver's seat, I have noticed there are a couple of spots on here that can easily be cleaned, which is another video idea that I could probably do. But the white seats have been amazing. They don't get super hot in the summer either, like black seats do. I just think that it looks a lot nicer. I don't know. The white on black and the contrast of both of them I really like. The white seats have held up great. I built a platform for the back, which I did another video on. Biggest joy of owning this car has been going camping. The second biggest joy of owning this car has been zero emissions. There's more controversy on whether the EVs put more stress on the electrical grid. I really like that I can show up to work and plug in my car and then have a full battery by the end of the day. It's super convenient, and for a lot of people, you can plug your car in overnight. You charge it off-peak hours, which is even better than me charging at work. If you're charging it off-peak hours, the electricity costs less and it's less stress on the electrical grid. And the convenience of that is you plug it in at night, you wake up the next morning and you go to work and you're at a full battery and you don't have to go to a gas station. It's just super convenient, and even the times that I do have to go to the supercharger, it's really not that big of a deal. It takes like 20 minutes to reach 80% of a battery, and I take that 20 minutes to either work on my business or I call a family member. Since I live far away from my family, I just take the time to give a call to somebody that I love. And I've gotten some of my family members on board. They went and purchased a Tesla after coming with me to test drive for mine. So we got everybody excited about it. It's been a really cool experience, and I just cannot say enough about the technology and how well everything works. I've had such an amazing experience with this car. I love this car. It's been super reliable, and just the Tesla camping has just been an absolute blast. I've just had so much fun. So those are all several things that I've really enjoyed about having this car after a year of ownership. I'm at 13,212 miles currently, and I hope to do many more road trips in this thing. It's like my home away from home. Another thing that I typically do for my Tesla is I don't take it through conventional car washes. I have a mobile detailer come out and wash it for me. He charges me $45. I have him come out maybe once a month depending on the weather, sometimes twice a month, so that I can make sure that I keep the car clean and protect the paint. But other than that, I think everything has been very reasonable in terms of cost, aside from the California registration fee. But if all of that wasn't enough to convince you to buy one, then I don't know what is. But if you do decide that you want to buy a Tesla, or maybe you've been looking for a while and you've been on the fence just waiting to be convinced, this is your sign. I am hereby convincing you and giving you permission to go ahead and do the thing that you've been waiting on. I manifested this for 3 years actually. So every time I would see one on the road, I'd be like, oh, I want that, I'm gonna have that one day. And finally I have it. I manifested it, and I waited for the right time and waited to make sure it was the right decision. Eventually I just went ahead and did it. I ordered it online. If you want to buy a Tesla, I'm going to put the link in the description where you can use my referral link to get, I think they're doing 3 months free full self-driving right now. Definitely take advantage of that through my link if you are considering. Also, I have lots of other YouTube videos about my Tesla camping adventures, so if you're curious about my road trips and how I go Tesla camping, definitely encourage you to check all those out. There's a lot of great content that I've made about my experiences all over California. I've taken the Tesla from LA to Utah. We went and did Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park. We also took the Tesla from LA to Redwood National Park and even crossed into Oregon. So that was a super fun trip, and I've done various other camping trips around California. And I'm making a few more of these videos here and there. I've got a couple review videos on some products that I use in my Tesla, including my X-Bed mattress. I'm doing a video review on my front cooler that I've been using, and I did a video on the platform that I made for my mattress back there. So I've got a lot of good content. Please check it out if you'd like, if you're interested. And as always, I really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate the support. If you don't mind dropping a comment, like, subscribe, do your thing. That really helps support me on my journey of doing a lot of this content creation for you guys. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.